The world tells us that stopping is dangerous, that silence means falling behind, that if you are not moving, producing, reacting, you are losing something. Bali believes the opposite. Once a year, an entire island chooses to disappear, not because it must, but because it knows something the rest of the world has forgotten. Nyepi is not a holiday. It is a confrontation with excess, a refusal of noise, a radical act of faith in stillness. For 24 hours, flights stop, streets empty, lights go dark, and even the internet goes quiet, not as punishment, not as protest, but as a ritual of renewal rooted in Balinese Hinduism and ancient world traditions. While the modern world celebrates beginnings with fireworks and excess, Bali begins its year with silence, introspection, fasting, and meditation. It cleans before it builds, it pauses before it advances, and in doing so, it exposes an uncomfortable truth. Maybe noise has been hiding our emptiness. At first, this idea feels impossible. Could you really sit with yourself without distraction? No screens, no entertainment, no escape. Nyepi challenges the belief that peace comes from adding more. It suggests something counterintuitive, that clarity, harmony, and renewal emerge only when we remove what overwhelms us. This is not spirituality as theory, it is spirituality as lived experience, practiced by an entire island at once. In a planet exhausted by speed, Bali offers a different solution. Not louder voices, not faster systems, but silence as wisdom. And the question is no longer about Bali alone. It becomes personal. What would happen if you stopped? If the noise disappeared? If, for one day, the world asked nothing of you except presence? This is the story of the island that stops so it can begin again. And in its silence, it may be holding the answer to a question we are all afraid to ask. Bali usually announces itself before it is even seen. Engines roar through narrow streets. Temple bells echo between offerings. Waves collide with laughter on crowded beaches. Life here is loud, layered, deeply alive, shaped by Balinese culture and world traditions that refuse to stay in the background. Spirituality is not reserved for temples or special days. It walks beside daily life. Tourism in Bali feeds on this rhythm, this sacred movement that never seems too slow, and yet, beneath all this sound, something ancient waits. A pause, patient and deliberate, hidden in plain sight. Then, without warning, the world cuts out. Sound collapses into a silence so complete it feels heavier than noise. No engines, no voices, no distant music drifting from cafes or ceremonies. Only wind brushing leaves, insects marking time, and the far-off breathing of the sea. This is not fear, not chaos, not disaster. It is faith, shaped by Balinese Hinduism and Agama Hindu Dharma, practiced without spectacle. A silence chosen, not imposed, carrying intention rather than emptiness. One detail always stops the mind short. The airport of Bali closed, not by emergency, but by belief. No planes arrive, none depart, as if the island has stepped outside the world's schedule. It becomes the only international airport on Earth to shut down for spiritual reasons alone. In T's moment, Dharma outweighs urgency, and balance matters more than momentum. The island does not negotiate with time, it commands Italiano. Bali chooses stillness, and the sky obeys. Streets empty as if lights fade, doors remain closed, movement dissolves into memory. Tepekaleng, the traditional Balinese police, patrol quietly, not enforcing silence, but guarding it. The island pretends to be uninhabited, deliberately invisible. According to Balinese mythology and folklore, spirits wander freely during this time, searching for signs of life. Finding none, they move on. Silence becomes camouflage, darkness becomes protection. There is something deeply unsettling and quietly beautiful about disappearing on purpose. In a world obsessed with visibility, Bali practices absence. This is Rabinida, alive, the balance of light and shadow. Not as philosophy, but as action. Balinese spirituality teaches that retreat is not weakness, It is wisdom, like stepping away from constant noise to hear your own thoughts again. Even something simple, like spending one evening without screens or conversation, reveals how clarity returns when stimulation fades. From above, the island vanishes completely. No glow of cities, no trace of roads, no artificial shine. The sky opens, revealing a cielo estrellado so dense it feels unreal. Freed from pollution, emissions drop, engines sleep, the air softens. The impacto ambiental becomes visible without intention. Sustainability here is not a trend, but a consequence of belief. The island rests. And for one night, so does the planet. This beginning explains nothing directly, and that is its power. It suggests that silence is never the start, only the result. Something must happen before the world can afford to stop. Rituals must be performed, balance restored, shadows acknowledged. Bali does not arrive at stillness by accident. It earns it through movement, devotion, and tradition. And to truly understand that, one must first witness Bali before the silence arrives. Bali, before the silence, is anything but quiet. It is an island that breathes ritual from the moment the sun rises, where spirituality is woven into routine with the same naturalness as eating or sleeping. In a nation largely shaped by Islam, Bali stands apart, not in opposition, but in preservation. Here, Balinese Hinduism, known as Agame Hindu Dharma, unfolds as a living synthesis of Hindu, Buddhist, and animist beliefs. This fusion does not exist in books alone. It lives in gestures, offerings, and the rhythm of daily life. Every morning begins with intention. Small woven trays filled with flowers, rice, and incense appear on sidewalks, doorsteps, scooters, and altars. These Kanang Sari offerings are not decoration. They are dialogue. They speak to gods, ancestors, and unseen forces, honoring balance rather than perfection. In Balinese spirituality, nothing exists without its counterpart. This is Rabineda, the eternal dance of light and shadow, harmony born not from denial, but from acknowledgement. Temples are everywhere, not centralized, not distant. Every village has one. Every home has its shrine. Every crossroads carries spiritual meaning. The sacred does not demand pilgrimage. It meets people where they stand. Ritual Hindus mark births, deaths, harvests, and ordinary days alike. This constant ritual presence teaches a quiet lesson. Spirituality is not an escape from life. It is the structure that holds it together. Community is the unseen architecture of the island. Life unfolds collectively through shared responsibility and mutual care. The Balinese do not practice faith in isolation. Belief is reinforced through Vedic. Ceremonies are prepared together, offerings assembled side by side, temples cleaned as a group. Even silence, when it comes, will not be individual. This is a culture where identity expands outward, not inward. The balance of the cosmos is not an abstract idea here. Equilibrio cosmico is maintained through action, through repetition, through attention. From cleansing rituals to daily prayers, each act contributes to harmony between the human world and the unseen realms. In Balinese culture, neglect is more dangerous than error. Forgetting to offer is worse than offering imperfectly. For someone watching from the outside, this life can feel overwhelming at first. Yet there is a simplicity hidden beneath the ritual density. The lesson is practical. Meaning grows through consistency. One does not need grand gestures. Lighting incense with awareness, setting aside a moment for reflection, honoring transitions intentionally. Even choosing to begin each day with gratitude mirrors the Balinese approach to the sacred. And as vibrant as this spiritual life appears, it is all moving toward something quieter. Every offering placed, every prayer spoken, every act of balance maintained is preparation. Because in Bali, silence is not a break from spirituality. It is its deepest expression. And to understand why the island can stop so completely, one must look at where its calendar truly begins. Nyepi is not born from noise, fireworks, or countdowns shouted at the sky. Its origin lies in an entirely different relationship with time. The Balinese calendar, known as the Soka calendar, arrives from ancient India and follows lunar rhythms rather than mechanical precision. Months breathe with the moon, not the clock. In his system, the true New Year Isakawarsa does not announce itself with celebration, but with restraint. Before anything can begin, something must be cleared. In the logic of Balinese Hinduism and Agama Hindu Dharma, progress without purification is imbalance. The year does not deserve to start while the soul remains cluttered. This is where Nyepi reveals its quiet intelligence. Instead of adding more experiences, it removes them. Instead of filling space, it empties Italiano. Silence becomes a tool for introspection, not punishment. Fasting, meditation, and spiritual restraint create space where awareness can finally speak. This philosophy contrasts sharply with modern traditions across the world. In many cultures, the New Year is loud by default, fueled by excess, distraction, and escape. Noise becomes a way to avoid reflection. Nyepi does the opposite. It insists that renewal requires stillness, like cleaning a room before rearranging furniture. The Balinese clean the inner world before stepping forward. It is a ritual of subtraction, not accumulation. There is wisdom here that feels surprisingly practical. Imagine pausing before making a major decision, not to gather more opinions, but to sit quietly with the question. Or beginning a new year by removing habits that no longer serve, rather than setting endless goals. This mirrors Nyepi's deeper lesson. Clarity arrives when excess leaves. Silence sharpens intention the way darkness sharpens sight. In the framework of Dharma, responsibility is not only moral, but cosmic. Every action echoes beyond the individual. The new year, therefore, cannot belong to one person alone. It belongs to the island, to the community, to the unseen balance between worlds. Nyepi resets this equilibrium, aligning human rhythm with cosmic rhythm. Time pauses so harmony can catch up. This pause is not passive, it is charged with meaning. During Nyepi, introspection replaces distraction, meditation replaces movement, fasting replaces indulgence. The body slows so the mind can listen. The mind quiets so the spirit can respond. This is not emptiness, it is preparation, like drawing breath before speaking truth. And yet, Nyepi does not arrive unannounced. Before silence takes over the island, there must be cleansing. Before stopping, there must be movement toward purification. The new year does not begin in stillness alone. It begins with water, devotion, and the sea calling the island back to balance. Before silence can claim the island, Bali moves as one body toward the sea. Dressed in white, entire communities walk together under the sun, carrying sacred objects, ancestral symbols, and the quiet weight of intention. What looks like a procession is, in truth, a conversation with the elements. Malasti is not spectacle. It is surrender. The ocean waits as both witness and purifier, ancient and impartial. Statues of deities and temple relics are lowered into the water with reverence. Hands touch the sea, foreheads bow. Prayers dissolve into salt and wind. In Balinese Hinduism and Agama Hindu Dharma, water is not merely symbolic. It is alive with purpose. It cleanses the visible and the invisible, washing not only bodies, but thoughts, memories, and unresolved energies that cling to the passing year. Malasti works on multiple levels at once. The individual releases personal burdens. The community dissolves collective tension. The universe itself is invited back into alignment. This is the balance between Buana Alit, the human world, and Buana Igung, the greater cosmos. Nothing enters the new year without being washed. Purification here is not optional. It is the price of renewal. There is a practical wisdom hidden beneath the ritual beauty. Malasti teaches that clarity requires intentional release. Just as the Balinese bring sacred objects to the sea, one can bring emotional weight to water as well. Standing near a river, showering with awareness, or even washing hands while consciously letting go of resentment becomes a personal ritual. The lesson is simple. Cleansing is more effective when done with meaning. The scale of Malasti is striking. Beaches transform into living temples, filled with chants, incense, and movement. Yet despite the crowds, there is order, calm, and shared purpose. This is vida comunitaria at its highest expression. No one purifies alone. Balance is restored collectively, not individually. Each person's intention strengthens the whole. Malasti also reminds the island of humility. Humans do not dominate nature here, they cooperate with it. The sea is not controlled, only approached with respect. In a world increasingly disconnected from natural cycles, this ritual offers a corrective. Renewal does not come from conquering life, but from aligning with it. When the processions return inland, something has shifted. The air feels lighter, the rhythm slower, the island subtly prepared. But purification is only the first step. What has been cleansed must now be confronted, because once the soul is washed, the shadows it carried must be seen, and that confrontation does not happen quietly. As the sun begins to set, Bali erupts one last time. The calm built through purification gives way to movement, sound, and fire. Giant figures rise above the streets, towering, grotesque, impossible to ignore. These are the Ogo-Ogo, born from Balinese mythology, folklore, and the deep psychology of Balinese Hinduism. Crafted by hand, carried by communities, they embody what must be faced before silence can arrive. Drums pound, torches flare, voices shout into the night. Children laugh, adults chant. The streets pulse with energy. The Disfal de Ogo-Ogo feels chaotic, but it is carefully intentional. These figures are not entertainment, they are mirrors. Each demon represents something internal: anger, greed, arrogance, fear. In Balinese belief, demonios balineses and espíritus malignos are not strangers. They live inside human nature as much as they roam the unseen world. This is where Ra Beneda reveals another layer. Light cannot exist without shadow. Denying darkness gives it power. Naming it strips it of control. Ogo-Ogo are carried through villages, so no one can pretend ignorance. The community acknowledges its flaws publicly, collectively, without shame. This confrontation is loud because avoidance is louder when ignored. There is an uncomfortable honesty here that feels rare in the modern world. Imagine writing down your worst habits, your recurring fears, your unspoken resentments, and placing them where you cannot look away. That is what Ogo-Ogo do on a communal scale. They externalize what people prefer to hide. This ritual teaches that awareness is the first act of purification. When night deepens, the figures meet their fate. Fire consumes them, sparks rising into the dark sky. The burning is not destruction for its own sake. It is release. What has been acknowledged can now be let go. Before silence, the ritual seems to say, everything that consumes us must be destroyed. The flames carry away what no longer belongs in the coming year. As the fire dies down, something subtle happens. The noise begins to thin, laughter fades, drums slow, footsteps retreat. The chaos has served its purpose. The shadows have been seen, named, and burned. The island exhales, knowing it has nothing left to perform. What follows is not celebration, nor exhaustion, but surrender. The fire has cleared the path. The noise has reached its limit. And now, with nothing left to confront, Bali prepares to disappear entirely. Enjoying the video so far? Then engage with us. Like, share your thoughts in the comments, and follow World Traditions to explore more amazing traditions around the world. When Nyepi arrives, it does not announce itself. It simply takes over. After the fire fades and the last echoes of chaos dissolve into memory, the island enters a state unlike anything else on Earth. This is not rest, it is suspension. For 24 hours, Bali submits to the Katabrata opinion for sacred laws that govern every breath, every movement, every choice. The world does not slow down, it stops. The first law, Amati Jani, removes fire and light. Lamps go dark, flames are forbidden, and even electricity retreats. Darkness becomes complete, almost unsettling at first. From above, Bali disappears, swallowed by the night. Invisible among glowing continents, Without polución luminosa, the cielo estrellado returns in overwhelming clarity. The sky feels closer, more intimate, as if the universe itself leans in to listen. The second law, amati karya, halts all work, businesses close, labor pauses, productivity dissolves. Tourism in Bali vanishes for a day, reminding everyone that the economy is not sacred, but life is. This suspension feels radical in a world addicted to output. Here, worth is not measured by activity. Rest becomes a form of respect, and stillness becomes contribution. Amati lelongan, the third law, forbids movement. Streets empty completely. Vehicles remain parked, and the airport of Bali closed becomes the ultimate symbol of surrender. The Pakaling patrol quietly, ensuring not obedience, but harmony. Their presence feels ceremonial, not authoritarian. Movement ceases not because it is forbidden, but because it is unnecessary. The fourth law, amati lalangwan, removes entertainment. No music, no television, no internet, no distractions. Silence deepens beyond sound into the mind itself. Without constant stimulation, thoughts surface uninvited. This is where introspection becomes unavoidable. Meditation replaces entertainment. Awareness replaces escape. The island turns inward as one body. At the core of Nyepi lives an ancient belief. Espiritus malignos roam the skies during this time, searching for signs of life. Finding only silence and darkness, they assume the island is empty and move on. Whether taken literally or symbolically, the lesson remains powerful. When noise disappears, disturbance loses its grip. Silence becomes defense. For many, these hours feel long, uncomfortable, even confronting. Yet this discomfort is intentional. Nyepi does not offer peace immediately. It offers truth first. And in that truth, something profound begins to settle. The world has stopped. And for once, the inner world has nowhere to hide. What comes after this silence, however, will reveal just how deeply it has worked. When silence stretches beyond a few minutes, it begins to reveal layers most people never meet. At first, there is restlessness, the mind searching for something to hold on to. Then comes awareness. Without movement, without noise, the senses recalibrate. Nyepi transforms silence from absence into presence. It becomes something felt in the chest, in the brit, in the slow unfolding of thought. Psychologically, this forced stillness acts like a mirror. Distractions normally act as buffers, protecting people from their own inner noise. When those buffers vanish, emotions surface. Memories return. Questions long avoided quietly demand attention. This is not always comfortable, but it is honest. Nyepi teaches that introspection is not passive. It is active listening. Sitting with oneself becomes the real ritual. Beyond the individual, the planet responds. Emissions drop measurably, engines sleep, and the air softens. The impacto ambiental of Nyepi is not theoretical. It is visible. Sustainability here emerges naturally, without campaigns or slogans. The island demonstrates that reduco de emisus does not always require innovation. Sometimes it requires restraint. For one day, humanity steps back, and nature steps forward. The return of the Sui Estrellado feels almost shocking. In most modern cities, stars are memory, not experience. On Nyepi night, without polución luminosa, the sky opens completely. Constellations spill across the darkness, reminding observers of scale, of humility, of belonging to something vast. Silence lifts the ceiling humans unknowingly place above themselves. This planetary pause raises an uncomfortable question. If one island can reduce its footprint simply by stopping, what could others do with intention? Nyepi does not argue. It demonstrates. It offers a lived example of sustainability as spiritual, where environmental care is not separate from belief, but born from it. The lesson extends far beyond Bali. For those observing from afar, the question turns inward. When was the last time the world truly went quiet for you? Not the phone on silent, not background noise lowered, but real stillness. Even a single hour without stimulation can reveal patterns otherwise hidden. Nyepi suggests experimenting with silence, not as escape, but as inquiry. As the hours pass, something unexpected happens. Silence stops feeling empty. It becomes full of awareness, perspective, and recalibration. The island does not rush the return of sound. It allows silence to complete its work. And only when that work is done does Bali permit light to return, gently, deliberately, without haste. When Nyepi ends, the return of light is not abrupt. It arrives carefully, almost shy. Small flames appear first, candles flicker, lamps glow softly inside homes. Ingambak is not a celebration of noise returning, but of awareness preserved. Fire is reignited only after consciousness is settled. The island does not rush back into life. It re-enters it with intention. People step outside again. Faces relaxed, movements slower. Smiles replace silence, but gently, respectfully. Families visit one another, neighbors gather, hands are held. Words like forgiveness and reconciliation move through the air with ease. In Balinese culture, Ingambak marks the understanding that renewal is collective. No one begins again alone. Community is the vessel through which healing travels. This day carries emotional weight that cannot be staged. Apologies are offered without negotiation. Old tensions soften. Conflicts that survived the year are finally named and released. The ritual teaches that peace is not the absence of disagreement, but the willingness to repair. This is vida comunitaria in action, where harmony is maintained through honesty, not avoidance. The symbolism of fire is central. Fire represents life force, desire, action, but it is only safe after silence has clarified intention. In Balinese spirituality, action without awareness creates imbalance. Ingambak reminds the island that movement must follow reflection. This lesson translates easily beyond ritual. Before reacting, pause. Before rebuilding, forgive. Before moving forward, look inward. There is something profoundly grounding about restarting together. In much of the modern world, renewal is framed as personal reinvention. Here, it is shared responsibility. The island rises as one body, aligned again with Dharma and Equilibrio. The reset is not psychological alone. It is relational. Bonds are repaired so the future does not inherit the past's fractures. The light that returns on Ingambak feels different from before. It is quieter, warmer, less demanding. Even laughter carries a softer tone. Silence has left its imprint. The chaos that once filled space now feels unnecessary. Awareness lingers, reminding everyone what life feels like without excess. And yet, this gentle rebirth does not exist in isolation. Beyond the island, the modern world watches, arrives, questions, visitors return, systems restart, contrasts emerge. The renewed Bali now faces the gaze of those unfamiliar with its silence, and with that gaze comes tension, misunderstanding, and the challenge of respect. When the world returns to Bali after Nyepi, it does not arrive unchanged. Visitors land carrying habits shaped by constant connection, speed, and entitlement. For many tourists, the idea of an island choosing silence feels surreal, almost inconvenient. Internet is limited, entertainment disappears, and even luxury resorts lower their presence to a whisper. Nyepi does not bend to comfort. Comfort is asked to adapt. Tourists in Nyepi experience something rare. Being guests without control. Hotels operate in low-profile mode, lights dimmed, sounds restrained, movement minimal. Even inside private spaces, silence is expected. This is often the first real encounter with respect cultural boundaries. In Bali, spirituality is not a performance for outsiders. It is a living system that visitors must enter humbly or not at all. For some, the experience is transformative. Stripped of distractions, travelers confront their own restlessness. What begins as frustration slowly turns into curiosity. The forced pause opens unexpected doors to introspection, meditation, and silence as wisdom. Nyepi becomes a mirror not only of Balinese values, but of modern dependency on noise and stimulation. For others, the experience is uncomfortable, even shocking. cultural shock arises when expectations collide with tradition. The idea that an entire island, including an international airport, shuts down for a ritual challenges assumptions about progress and priority. Yet this discomfort reveals something important. In Bali, not even the visitor stands above the sacred. This balance between tourism in Bali and tradicues ancestrae is fragile and constantly negotiated. Economic benefit never outranks spiritual order. The island teaches a firm lesson through practice, not explanation. Participation is not required, but respect is non-negotiable. Silence becomes the common language everyone must learn, even temporarily. There is a subtle education happening here. By witnessing Nyepi, visitors are invited into a different hierarchy of values. Speed gives way to presence. Consumption yields to restraint. Observation replaces participation. This is not tourism as entertainment. It is tourism as initiation into world traditions that predate modern convenience. As Bali reopens to the world, the contrast lingers. The silence remains echoing in those who truly listened. And that echo raises a deeper question, one that extends beyond travel or ritual. If one culture can protect stillness so fiercely, what might the rest of the world learn from that courage? The images return softly, almost reverently. Bali rests in silence once more, not as absence, but as presence fully realized. Leaves move with the wind. The sea breathes steadily, and the island feels suspended between worlds. This is not a pause imposed by exhaustion, but a choice rooted in tradicues. Bali shows that stopping can be deliberate, sacred, and deeply intelligent. In a planet driven by urgency, noise has become a default language. Productivity is praised, speed is rewarded, and stillness is often mistaken for weakness. Bali offers a radical counterpoint. Through Nyepi, the island teaches that silence is not empty time, but fertile ground. It is where clarity grows, where intention reorganizes itself. Silence, here, is wisdom in practice. The lesson extends beyond religion or geography. One does not need to follow Balinese Hinduism to understand the value of pause. Turning off devices for a day, spending time without stimulation, practicing meditation or quiet walks are modern echoes of an ancient truth. Renewal does not come from doing more, but from doing less with greater awareness. Nyepi also reframes the relationship between humans and the planet. The measurable reduction in emissions, the return of the night sky, the softened air reveals something uncomfortable. The Earth does not need innovation to heal first. It needs restraint. Bali demonstrates that sustainability as spiritual can produce real environmental impact without speeches or policies. What makes this ritual powerful is not its scale, but its unity. An entire island agrees to stop together, not for profit, not for spectacle, but for harmony. This collective commitment is rare. And perhaps that rarity is what makes Nyepi feel so unsettling and inspiring at the same time. It challenges the idea that individual freedom outweighs collective balance. As the final images fade, one question lingers, unanswered on purpose. In a world overwhelmed by constant motion, could silence be the most revolutionary act left? Could stopping be an expression of care, not failure? Bali does not argue. It demonstrates, and as the island slowly returns to sound, light, and movement, the invitation remains open. Not to copy Bali, but to listen to what it reveals. Because sometimes the most profound change begins not with action, but with the courage to be still. Nyepi is not meant to stay in Bali. It is meant to echo. What this island teaches goes far beyond ritual, religion, or geography. It invites a question that few cultures dare to ask. What are you carrying that no longer needs to come with you? Silence, fasting, introspection, and restraint are not about deprivation. They are about recalibration. And that recalibration is possible anywhere, in small but meaningful ways. You don't need an island to stop for you to begin practicing this wisdom. You can choose one evening without screens, one morning without noise, one walk without headphones. You can experiment with silence as inquiry, not escape. You can treat rest as responsibility, not reward. Nyepi reminds us that renewal is not accidental, it is designed. Bali also challenges how we relate to culture, tradition, and the planet. If an entire island can pause for harmony, what habits might we question in our own lives? What would change if communities valued balance over speed, awareness over constant production, the reduction in emissions, the return of the night sky, the collective reset all point to a truth we can no longer ignore. Sustainability begins with restraint, and there is something deeply human in this ritual. Forgiveness, reconciliation, shared silence, shared rebirth. Nyepi shows that peace is not an individual achievement, but a collective agreement. It asks us to look at our relationships, our communities, and even our conflicts through a different lens. What would healing look like if it were practiced together? So here is the real question this story leaves behind. Could you handle 24 hours of true silence? No distractions, no noise, no escape. And if that feels uncomfortable, what does that discomfort reveal? Is the world really asking for more noise or more Nyepi? If this journey through Bali's silence expanded your perspective, stay with us. Subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and continue exploring cultures, rituals, and wisdom that challenge the way we see the world. Because sometimes the most powerful lessons are found not in what is said, but in what is finally allowed to be silent. If you enjoyed the video, help us keep the channel going. Like, share your thoughts, and follow world traditions so we can keep showcasing traditions from around the world.